Here we go, episode 167 of the Hardline. Michael Merlo, John Michael Masiri here with you. Look at that. It only took 4 tries
Four
to get
takes.
through episode 167.
6, 7. That's what I'm talking about, Mike.
There we go. A big episode. We're going to do a little recap of week 1 and really look forward to week 2. But the big storylines in the NFL we are going to hit. JM, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Mike. You got me feeling very
I'm
goofy
crying.
and cheerful just now.
I'm literally tears in my eyes.
As Mike said, it took 4 tries to get through 167 because we are children who love the 6-7 meme as if we were in middle school.
Stupidest thing in the world.
Yes.
It's the dumbest thing in the world.
I'm good, Mike. Let's talk some ball.
I just hear repping Temple football before we start.
Shout out Temple.
Big game against Oklahoma at the Link this week.
Ooh,
big one.
Shout out Temple. Shout out Oklahoma. Hopefully that scoreboard looks somewhat respectable.
Yeah. No, Temple undefeated. Going to keep it close
Spread?
This weekend. 28.5.
Not bad.
So we'll be on the Owls this week.
Let's jump into that real quick. We're going to get into our NFL. Football's back. Love to hear it. I got to say, Mike, I was just talking about this with these spreads in college football. Like, I get you sign me up for that slate on the 27th. You got Oregon, Penn State, and whatever, like great games like that. I would love to watch those games. But where you lose me with the college football is when I see like a 66.5 point spread of like, what was it? East Texas A&M against somebody. Like,
it's not what you want.
What are we doing? Yeah. What are we doing?
No, it's 100%. Some of these games, especially like last week, it was an awful, awful slate. After, obviously the week 1, not week 0, week 1 was unbelievable.
Yes.
So, you had obviously 1 versus 2. You had all those great games, Clemson, LSU, and then they go to week 2 and it sucks. So I agree with you. I'm kind of out, at least on gambling on college football.
What's going on with the lighting in the room, by the way?
Should I shut my TV off?
The Mets are down across. The Mets are down
9-2.
Yeah, it's giving me a little episode, I think.
The Mets are down 9-2, so we don't really need to worry about that.
Yeah, it's fine.
So let's get into it, the NFL. And I want to start with this because we were able to watch such an unbelievable football game on Sunday night, which it kind of looked like it was turning where the Ravens were just going to run away with this game, and they were up 15. And, nobody could really stop each other. The Ravens had in that third quarter, really stop the Bills. But then after that, like the Bills were going down the field. It was a great football game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have that unbelievable comeback, or should we say collapse, by the Baltimore Ravens. But the one thing that was so evident in that game was how special these two quarterbacks really are.
Yep. The quarterback competition was unbelievable. It was 2 guys. Well, let me say this. Allen had to play a little more superhero than Lamar had to play. I think we all saw that during the game. But the talent on display, listen, when Henry and Lamar are on that field and they're going at the same time, I mean, it's unstoppable because you saw what the Ravens were dealing with from the Bills. They don't put a lot of guys in the box. Henry's running all day long. And the Bills are trying this too high safety look where they figure, one safety comes in, hits Henry, the other comes in and finishes the job and makes the tackle. That strategy was not working at all. He broke multiple tackles. And then they decide to stack the box, and that just opens things up for Lamar. So that's the thing I just can't wrap my head around with the Ravens is you see moments where you're like, this is the most dominant team in the NFL, but when they need to be dominant, it seems like they can't be.
We've all seen those numbers of John Harbaugh and the blown leads, the 17, I think it was double-digit leads in the fourth quarter or the second half. He has 17 of them. That's the most since 1991. I'm almost positive that is 100% correct.
That's hard.
But it's incredible. You could go back in time. Like, we remember a lot of these. Like, last year it was the Raiders and Gardner Minshew. 2 years before that, it was the 28-point lead against the Dolphins.
Yep.
I mean, we remember these. These are stuck on our head. And then you think about some of the big games they've played. Last year, basically blew it against the Bills in Buffalo in the postseason. Had the Chiefs at home in one of the Chiefs' weaker years, and they lose that game. Like these big games, and I'm not saying Lamar is completely at fault. John Harbaugh deserves some credit for these losses, and other people, the offensive coordinators over the past couple of years. Obviously, they went to Monken a couple of years back, but like, how can you be okay with losing these big games and then blowing these leads? I mean, this would drive me crazy.
You can't be at all. And I feel like something that's not being talked about enough is, I don't know about you, but I'm watching that game Sunday night and I'm seeing the Ravens go, okay, run up the middle with Henry on the first play. I'm talking about when they got the ball back, when they were up 40-38, right? You're under the 2-minute warning. The Bills have all 3 timeouts. So obviously you get a first down after second down, game's over, most likely. Or the Bills will have a chance to get the ball back with minimal time left. You run the ball up the middle, you get a yard. Second play, they do some sort of jet sweep to Zay Flowers,
which I hated,
which was a terrible play. I don't even think he gained a yard. And then the third play, yes, they pass it. Lamar ends up settling with a DeAndre Hopkins sort of check down drag route for like 4 or 5 yards. And I'm thinking, first of all, your offense has looked unstoppable all night. Sometimes in those situations, I know it's a little risky, but who cares? Just keep running your normal offense. You could rip off 2 or 3 first downs, no problem, the way you've been playing all night. And then, Mike, I don't know if you disagree with me on this, cool. It'll make for good conversation. But on that fourth down, I'm thinking you got to go for it. I mean, because like, listen, if you're playing anybody else, maybe Mahomes too, but you're playing anybody else, sure, punt it. The Bills were going to get down there. They just needed a field goal too.
I wish I could disagree with you here. I texted one of our good friends about this, and I said, would have you went for it? I was like, well, if you were in this situation, would you go for it? He said, no, I would have punted it. But I see the other side. And the one thing about it, like, let's rip them for the play calls on first, second, and third down, right? You could absolutely do that because the first down play was the same one Henry had just fumbled on. Then you have that stupid sweep, whatever you want to call it, to Flowers. Hated those 2 calls.
Yep.
The most effective thing they did all night, really, was A, giving the ball to Henry, but B, was letting Lamar run the football.
Yep.
I would have given the ball to Lamar on that third down play and let him make a play. And then if not, it's same play. Now you're on 4th and 3. I would have ran some kind of option with Lamar. I think that would have gotten the first down. I completely agree with you. I would have considered going for it there because if you punt that ball away, like you said, the game is over.
Yeah, game is over. I mean, you can't give them the ball back there. The funny part is that Jair Alexander, if he misses that tackle, the desperation tackle on Coleman, the Ravens might have won that game. That was their only hope, was if Coleman would have scored there.
Coleman, right. I don't know if Coleman would have had the chance or if he even would have thought about going down, but I was thinking about that too after the game. The other thing is when the Bills got the ball back, they didn't have any timeouts. So going into that drive, I forget how many they did have. I guess they burned all of them or they burned 2 of them, whatever.
They burned all of them. Yep.
They had none when they got the football.
Yep.
So that is also something that would have been in the back of my mind if I was John Harbaugh. But still, it's Josh Allen. You know that they're going to get the ball down the field and they're going to put themselves into field goal range.
1 minute and 40-something seconds left. That's to get into field goal range. I mean, that is easy peasy for Josh Allen. And here's the last thing I'll say with this game. I know we're going to get into the quarterback conversation a little bit more, and this game has happened multiple days ago. But I was thinking about this. If Mark Andrews catches that ball last year on the 2-point conversion, does John Harbaugh go for it on 4th down? And the reason I ask is, do you think that Harbaugh in the back of his mind is thinking, all right, it was controversial going for 2 last year in this building, and we didn't get it. Do I really want to have people come at me with pitchforks if I go for it again and it doesn't work out here on 4th down?
You think that right in that moment?
I think it had to be in the back of his mind. I mean, the guy's a human being.
The one thing I was surprised with was that he had said the analytics told him punt it, which I was a little shocked by. Because I thought the analytics would have said the opposite.
That's where the analytics for me, and I'm a defender of it, but that's where, like, I know the analytics takes into account your opponent, but does it take into account like how Josh Allen has looked this game? Does it
Right.
understand that? Does it
Yeah.
understand that your defense has been getting cooked in the second half?
I don't think it did. I don't think it did, but 100%. And now you look at Lamar and what he did the other night. He is turned into such a calm pocket passer where, even we were having a conversation on Friday night, and I think I put Mahomes ahead of him.
You put Burrow ahead.
Did I put Burrow ahead of him?
You had him fourth.
We're having yes, I did. I would flip that. I call it a week one overreaction. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was high on Burrow coming into the year, but either way, that was disrespectful of me because this guy, his ability to run the football, there's nobody like him other than maybe Josh Allen, who is also unbelievable with running the football as a quarterback. But Lamar Jackson, the passer that he has turned into, that he doesn't get enough credit around the league for how good of it. Well, not around the league, but you know what I mean. From the fans, from the media, does not get enough credit. He was so poised back there. He had guys making plays. And the one thing about both of these quarterbacks, Josh Allen, besides Diggs, really hasn't had the help of a number one wide receiver. He also hasn't had the help of an offensive coach as the head coach. Now, Lamar Jackson doesn't have that either, but he has John Harbaugh, who is one of the best coaches in the league. Despite all these mistakes we've brought up early in this show, he is one of the better coaches in the NFL. He's never really had that number one wide receiver, but he's got that weapon in Henry, the second best running back in football, right? If we were going to rank running backs, he's probably second right now.
Yeah.
It's incredible that both of these guys, without true number one wide receivers and the limitations that they have had, they're still the two best quarterbacks in the league today.
To me, it sounds crazy, but I almost feel like if they had a number one wide receiver, it might actually hurt them. Because think about how this game was going. And when we were in peak, like, okay, this is just backyard football. Like Lamar's running around, Allen's running around. It's broken down routes. It's broken down protection. It's just superhero mode for these two guys. And that's when they're at their best. So for me to think like if you gave Lamar a CeeDee Lamb, a Jamar Chase, or somebody like that demands the ball that much, that forces them to play a little bit more structured in a way, more timing with routes and whatever it may be. I don't know if that would necessarily help them because of the way that he plays the game and that there's so many different options on every play. It almost feels like it'd be like a waste of salary cap to put a number one wide receiver in your room when he makes all the players around him better anyways.
I get that. I think that there is like a big, like Flowers isn't a number one, but he's good. He's talented. He's not a number one, but I guess he's a number two, like a mid-tier number two wide receiver. I think they could use a couple of those. I mean, we're going to Bateman here. Andrews is completely cooked. Quickly didn't even play in the game. Henry
quickly.
What?
You said quickly. Likely.
Did I say quickly?
Yeah, you did. It's all right. It's not as bad as when I said Baker Mayfield's going to hit 40 home runs this year.
Likely didn't even play in the game. And Henry's not much out of the backfield. Like they could use and again, not saying a number one, but could they what a Cortland Sutton hurt there? What George Pickens, maybe not Pickens.
Listen, I take back the word hurt. It wouldn't hurt them, but I just don't think, like I said, like waste the salary cap. I think they'd be better off, getting an edge rusher or getting somebody to help them along the way than getting that $30 million a year wide receiver. I don't think it's necessary for the way that these guys play football because you watch them play the game. They're literally, this is like revolutionary type of football that they're playing where we've never really seen it in the league before and be sustained at these guys are getting better. That's the crazy part is the scary part. Lamar is still peaking. Allen is still peaking and getting better. His peak is getting higher, which is crazy to think about. I mean, Lamar threw 41 touchdowns last year and 4 interceptions while being the best rushing quarterback in the NFL.
Josh Allen had two rushing touchdowns the other night. He ended up throwing for 394 yards. Now, remember something. That beginning of that second half, he had like 150 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
He threw 200 passing yards in a quarter and a half. And again, this is with Keon Coleman, and this is with Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox and Khalil Shakir, who I like, and Palmer had a nice game. It's not with these stud wide receivers. It's what makes it even more impressive. And Cook is very valuable out of the backfield. He had the big play for about 40 yards that almost he got stopped at the 2 or 3 yard line. Yeah. He's a very valuable player for them as well. And the offensive lines, Ravens have always had a good offensive line, and the Bills have had good offensive lines. But you don't look at the Bills' offensive line and say this is great. He just, no matter what, the guy is literally Superman for this team.
Mm-hmm.
He's Superman, and it is a joy to be able to watch him. I always said Patrick Mahomes was the best quarterback I had ever seen, the most talented guy. I think it's seriously starting to flip.
Yeah,
I think it's starting to flip.
I said it last year, and I'm putting Lamar in that conversation too, where I said I think you could make the argument that Josh Allen is the more talented quarterback. And I mean,
and I think I ripped you for it, actually.
Yeah, which is fine. Like it's a bold take when you think about it because of how Mahomes is praised. But like, think about the situations and what these guys have been put into. Like Allen, to me, what he's done in the AFC East and what he's done to a franchise that has just was awful in the don't get me wrong, the Chiefs didn't have a good last 25 years either. Yeah. But when Mahomes got there, they were already a very well respected. They had Andy Reid, Alex Smith had them in the wild card round at least every single year. They were a playoff team. But the Bills are, a franchise that's best known for losing 4 Super Bowls in a row. And he came there with tons of bad years in a row of bad quarterback play, and he's completely flipped the script and made this team a lethal weapon on offense, and them the new Patriots of the AFC East, where every year you're just penciling them in as the winner of the AFC East.
Yeah, remember.
It's crazy. It really is.
They got the Jets this week. They don't play well there. The Jets play them tough usually.
They do. They do have the Jets this week. That'll be an interesting game. I don't know what's the line at right now.
7, I think.
Make that a 7.5. I'd love the Jets.
I think I like Jets.
I don't like flat numbers. I don't like that.
I think I like the Jets this week. We'll see what happens. JJ and Caleb. I was so pumped for this Monday night game, and we're not going to break break down the way the game went a few days ago, and it wasn't an unbelievable game, but it ended up being a nice game. I came away very impressed with what JJ McCarthy was able to do, obviously, in that fourth quarter. For him to battle the way that he did, for him to have such a terrible first 3 quarters of that game with 12 minutes left to completely take it over in the fourth quarter, to show what kind of player guy he is, I was blown away. I was blown away. And he was making some big time throws in that fourth quarter too. So it wasn't just like, oh, he's a winner. He's great in the locker room. He's great with his teammates. It was the play. He was great in that fourth quarter. Yeah,
I think that's where that experience at Michigan comes in for him. Obviously, we know the guy's a winner, and I know that's a cliche, but you do, when you win a lot, you learn things and you learn that mentality. And I'm sure Harbaugh instilled that in him a lot when he was at Michigan. So it was really nice to see that. But Mike, I got to say, this is one of those stories to me where, and this always happens, where it's like, is this more of a week 1, the Bears are going to be bad things? Or is this, wow, that was impressive out of the Vikings kind of stories? I'm not sure, but all I'll say is if I'm a Chicago Bears fan, I already have a knot in my stomach.
I don't think the Bears, like coming into the season, I didn't think the Bears were going to be this bad team. I didn't. I thought they'd win around 7-8 games, compete for a playoff spot, be in it in December. But I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. I don't know what to think. Now, they were missing 3 starters on defense. That's something we have to keep in mind, the Bears. Okay, when we're really evaluating JJ McCarthy, they were missing 3 starters. I'm concerned if I'm a Bears fan. There's no doubt I'm concerned. But I think this is more of a story of the Minnesota Vikings just have so much talent. They are so much more talented than that Chicago Bears team that, let's just take the quarterbacks out of it for a second. That's a loaded roster, and that's the much better coach at this point. I think he's the third best coach in football. Best coach in football. Reed, McVay, Kevin O'Connell. That's how I would have it.
Okay, that's strong.
It's both.
Wow, over Harbaugh, really? I'm surprised.
Over both Harbaughs.
Okay.
And I love Jim. I
know you do. That's why I'm really surprised right now.
He's the third best coach. And I think that's more of the story right now. Not that, listen, I'd be concerned too about Caleb, but I think it's more of, wow, that's a loaded roster with a great coaching staff.
It is a loaded roster, and it's like the story of last year, and I'm talking the story going into the season, or maybe even in the beginning of the season. We thought, all right, if Sam Darnold can just take care of the ball and execute O'Connell's plan, that this will be a team that's a force to be reckoned with, especially with what Flores is doing with that defense, right? Now, obviously, Darnold descended into MVP talks at one point. He had a phenomenal year. It'll be interesting to see how JJ plays as the year goes on. I'm still not going to sit here and say that he's going to equal the year that Darnold have. I think he'll struggle a little more, or even maybe not so much struggle, but they'll ask a little less of him than what they asked of Darnold. I think you'll see them use his legs a little bit more than obviously Darnold's legs were used. He's a little underrated as a JJ McCarthy.
Yeah,
he's got a little Bo Nix in him. I think he's going
to
catch some people by surprise with his athleticism. But just flipping back to the Bears, I think what you're going to see with the Bears a lot is what we've kind of already seen, is you're going to see flashes on this offense. Like, they'll put together kind of like what the Jets did last year when everybody got excited on Monday Night Football in the first game of the year against the 49ers when they led that drive to score a touchdown, the first touchdown of the game with Breece Hall, and everybody's like, whoa, that looked big time. I think you're going to see the Bears do a lot of that, where they show flashes of how good this offense could be with Caleb, with Ben Johnson, all that stuff. But I think because of Caleb mainly, they're not going to be able to execute it drive after drive, or even every other drive after every other drive.
It's funny with Caleb. I actually don't think it's physical traits. I think it's mental.
Yeah.
I think it's all upstairs with him, which is maybe more than half of the battle in terms of being a quarterback and being able to lead a franchise. I think it's a mental thing. And this offense that Ben Johnson's bringing in, was highly, we saw it with Detroit, and they saw it firsthand playing Detroit twice a year. But I think that this is going to take some time if Caleb's even able to, what's the word I'm looking for, run the offense, be successful in the offense. It's going to take time for him to actually get acclimated. That's the word I was looking for.
It will. Now, a lot of the stuff we're saying is, negative. And I said the thing, I'd have a knot in my stomach if I'm a Bears fan. It doesn't mean it's over. Okay. It's week 1. Like, there is still time. I like to remind everybody of, and I'll be the first one to put my hand up, I didn't like Josh Allen coming out of college, and I still didn't like Josh Allen about a year and a half into his career. And if we remember Josh Allen's first ever playoff game against the Texans, it was what the hell was that? He's lateraling the ball, turnovers, looking like an absolute nut job, which is a lot of what we see out of Caleb Williams, what you're talking about, with the mental stuff. And the other day he throws it away. He's doing like his body's like parallel with the ground, and he's throwing it like over his head like a sky hook, like a lot of weird stuff. But there's time. And with the right coach, who we think is Ben Johnson, at least from an offensive mindset, I don't know about his ability to lead men and lead culture, whatever it may be, but from an offensive standpoint, we know he's got that down pat. And we know that Caleb has the talent arm-wise. Give it a little bit more time. If we're having this conversation by week 10, week 13, and we still haven't seen improvement or signs of improvement, then the conversations are going to be a lot more difficult.
It's going to get loud. It's going to get loud regardless. It's Chicago. It's going to get toxic.
Yeah.
And it's entertaining talk. But I choose to believe that Caleb's going to figure it out. That's how I feel.
So do I. But if I was a Bears fan, and
I'd be freaking out.
I wouldn't be able to eat my breakfast every morning. I would be sick.
And let me say this about JJ. I got a crazy take on JJ. I was warning you about this take on JJ. And I'm going to set it up for you.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Tom Brady was put into the perfect situation, right? He goes to, a Hall of Fame coach. He goes to a great defensive system where Belichick cared and took time. Great coaching staff, right? And what did Brady turn into? We know that he was this just guy that was obsessed with winning and obsessed with succeeding, right? But he wasn't the most talented guy. We know that Tom Brady has never been the most talented guy. And Patrick Mahomes goes to the perfect situation in Kansas City with the great offensive mind and the great weapons and offensive line and this and that. And he develops, and he's, one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the league. And for a long time was the best quarterback in the league. And you even look at Jalen Hurts, who went to a great situation with an offensive-minded coach and a great general manager and great talent around him. And all Jalen Hurts does is win. I'm actually flipped on Jalen Hurts. I think the conversation is crazy now with Hurts.
Yeah, it's gone way too far.
Getting out of hand. You're overrated, then you actually become underrated. That's I think what's happening with Hurts.
Yeah.
But either way, look at JJ. He's in the perfect situation. He's got one of the best head coaches in the league. He has the ability. You talked about his athleticism. I agree with you. He put that on notice the other night. He can make a lot of throws. He's got a decent arm. In this situation with Kevin O'Connell and this roster and this franchise, I think J.J. McCarthy is going to end up being like one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I really do. If he stays here and learns under KOC, I think it's going to happen. I'm fully bought in on the JJ train. I'm fully bought in. I think this team's going to the playoffs.
Well, all right. I'm just trying to process. You just threw a lot at me.
Sorry.
Wow. Well, when you first started off by saying the name Tom Brady, I was like, oh,
that's why I started laughing.
Yeah. And then you said Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, oh my God. Where is he going with this?
And the one thing I should preface is like the outlier is Mahomes is crazy talented.
Right. Exactly.
Hurts, not the crazy, talented, but not
yes.
Mahomes talented. Brady, we know what he is.
Well, I think we both agree on this, that like taking everything into account, the most important thing for a young quarterback, and I'm talking their personal talents, intangibles, tangibles, everything. The most important thing is the situation that they're in. Like we've seen backup quarterbacks turn into starting quarterbacks because they're in a good situation, like a Geno Smith. We've seen beat down players turn into superstars in good situations, like a Baker Mayfield. We've seen the reverse of that. Talented players turn into crappy players because of the situation they're in. All that stuff. So the situation is great. I do not doubt that. Pump the brakes a little bit. I like the bold take. I like going out on a limb here with JJ. I know you're a big JJ guy, a little more than I am.
Yeah. Well, he was almost my franchise quarterback. I had to talk myself into it last year.
Yeah, but like when you're saying what you're saying, like top quarterbacks in the league, like are we considering him in this world where he is a top quarterback in the league? You don't think he's going to be one of those like Lamar, Burrow?
No.
Where like he can carry his team.
No.
Right? No. Okay. If you want to say he's going to have like a Jared Goff arc, by all means,
I think it'll be a little better, but yes, around there, around the bottom of the top 10 to maybe he creeps up into like 6 or 7.
But a guy that like, you got to stop with the 6, 7.
Damn it.
But like a guy that in the right situation reaches his full potential and executes the coach's game plan the best. Absolutely. I have no problem with that take.
Because the one thing like with Brady, right? And I was having this argument today at work and I said, well, I said Brady was never the most talented guy in the room. He was never the most talented guy in the league. And he's like, well, that's crazy. So you don't think he would have been great if he left? And I'm like, he did leave and he was great. And when he could have left 10 years earlier and he would have been great. Mm-hmm. But in the beginning, if he left Belichick, he wouldn't have been great. He would have never been what he was.
Mm-hmm.
After, half a decade, 8, 9 years around there, yeah, he could have left and he would have been great elsewhere. But it took development. It took time. I think that's what it's going to be with McCarthy. I really do.
I agree with you. I think that's a really good point to say, yeah, I don't think if Brady was a 6th-round pick to the Jets that he would have even been a name. Like the situation that he was in kind of just catapulted him in. And like you said, it's not a knock against Brady. It's
No.
just the truth, honestly, because even look at Kirk Cousins. We're on the topic of late round quarterbacks and Vikings quarterbacks. Kirk was a guy that was underrated, that was overshadowed, got drafted in the same class as RG3.
Yep.
And then he has a good career in Washington, takes them to the playoffs a couple of times and is playing well for Jay Gruden. And then he goes to Minnesota and his game elevates. I mean, at an age where he's technically on the wrong side of his prime. So, situation matters a lot. And I'll bring up Geno Smith again. Like, this is a guy that is past his prime athletically, but is playing the best football. Maybe, we'll see what he does this year, but in Seattle was playing his best football because he finally landed in the right spot where he could reach his potential. So
I got to say, he was super impressive the other day, by the way. We're not going to bring him up.
He was
really impressive.
He played well. A couple really nice throws to Bowers when Bowers was on the field before his injury. That was weird. He's
going to be fine though. They said he could have come back into the game, but they didn't because it was so early. And
yeah, did you see that though? That Mayer had more snaps than him before the injury.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Maybe they're load management.
Yeah. What else?
Load management.
Second-year load management. That's interesting.
Exactly. He's bald. He's balding. I think he is full bald now. I don't know what keeps happening in this room with the light. Like the light looks like it's like blowing up.
Yeah, it's like.
And then
is it flashing black for a second in your room as well, or is that just how it comes across?
No, that's how it comes across the room. But like I could feel it flashing. But I don't know what it is.
We might have to switch out the light bulb, Mike.
Well, the light bulb and the light here went out. Awful.
Oh,
anyway,
sorry,
Riley Green started homer.
Go on.
The Mets are dead. The Yankees are probably dead. Everybody's done. This town is done. This town has no chance.
8-1.
Yep, that's good. No, that's good. Let's move on to more happy things. How about we talk about the Chiefs and the Eagles this week? Now, we were bringing up Mahomes a little bit before. He's been involved in some conversations. The Eagles won week 1 without Mr. Jalen Carter, who spit on Dak Prescott. He's going to play this week, but he did receive a fine, which is it is equal to 1 week pay. So he's not being paid this week. But Jalen Carter will be playing in the game in Kansas City. The spread is 1.5 in this game. It's flipped. The Chiefs are now favored again. The Chiefs have so many flaws. I don't think this team is going to be fine. I think they're going to have some issues this year, and there's a reason why I didn't pick them to win the division, and there's a reason why I feel very good about that take right now. But I can't see them. Like, part of me says, oh, they could start out 0-2. They're not that great. Then the other part of me says, there's no way the Chiefs are starting out 0-2, especially when they have this game at home.
Yes, I do think the Chiefs conversations need to be had about this team's offense because the last 2 years, it has been, I'll just say it outright, mid. Like, you look at their stats across the NFL last year, I believe they were 14th or 15th in scoring offense and around the same in terms of yardage. And the year before that, it wasn't much better. They were maybe towards the top of the 10s, but not good. I mean, the offense has not been good. We talked about it right after the Super Bowl, the free agents they had coming up. They've lost some big pieces. Now, they replenished some of those pieces over the offseason, but already dealing with health issues. You can see Travis Kelce is basically just, a
shell of himself.
Shell of himself, right. More of like a public figure out there than he is a football player at this point.
Swift.
I mean, he's not, listen, the guy's obviously still capable of playing football, but he's nowhere near the Travis Kelce we knew. He had 2 catches last week, and one of them was a busted play touchdown where he faked blocking on a screen. It was a great play call. Took zero skill out of Travis Kelce.
You could have got that?
I probably couldn't have caught that, but I digress.
Okay.
I could see them starting 0-2, to be honest with you. And I think that this team's going to face a lot of trouble this year, especially earlier in the year with this tough schedule that they have to start the year. They're already 0-1. And losing a game like that to the Chargers, said a lot because I feel like the years past, they don't lose that game to a division rival like that.
No, they don't. And especially to the Chargers, who they play tight, but they usually win the game. They won 15 games last year. They were great one-score games. We knew they were going to regress. Their line this year was 11.5, at the sports books, over-under win total. This could be a 10-11 win team, and I don't think it's going to be shocking to many people. Their offensive line, especially that left side, you have the rookie left tackle, the right tackle, Juwan Taylor stinks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not great, and their running back room is awful.
Oh,
Pacheco is awful. There's no running game.
Pacheco is horrible. We're starting to see now, okay, this guy is a day 3 pick for a reason.
Yeah.
The defense to me is the biggest concern, honestly, because we knew, everybody thinks Patrick Mahomes, but we still knew that the offense isn't the offense of teams we were discussing before with these quarterbacks like the Ravens, like the Bills. We know that the Chiefs offense in the past couple of years has taken a little bit of a step back. And the defense has been able to make up for it. I mean, they've had one of, if not the best defenses in the NFL for consecutive years now. The Chargers, their run defense, the Chiefs' run defense was great against the Chargers, but the Chargers it seemed like every time Justin Herbert dropped back, there was 3 guys with 5 yards of separation every single play. So that to me is very concerning.
No, it is. And I think the defense will end up being fine, but there are serious concerns.
And if that defense takes a step back from 1, 2, 3 to 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, that's where I think the 10 wins are kicking in.
Right. That's a bigger issue. That's 100% a bigger issue because they were so great the last 2 years. So great. Mm-hmm. And the offense is better. And I trust Mahomes. I'm not out on Mahomes. It's just you can't pay everybody. That's the issue. You cannot pay everybody. And this is what's great about the NFL. It's very balanced. And the greats are able to overcome it. And he went to the Super Bowl last year. They haven't been able to pay guys. Guys are getting older. They're still in the Super Bowl. They won 15 games. But even Brady and Belichick went through a lull where they didn't win a Super Bowl for how many years? Was it 6, 7 years?
You gotta stop. It's gotta be on purpose.
No, I swear to God it wasn't. I swear to God it wasn't.
It was 10 years, by the way.
10 years. I was gonna say 8.
They went from 04 to 14.
Thanks, Eli.
Had to throw that in there.
Thank you, Eli. See the commercial with Peyton and his son?
That was good.
That
was really good. I like that.
Are you a Manning guy? Like, do you like them? Or are you just like, I'm sick of them, they're everywhere?
I always really liked Peyton. Obviously, I got a little bias from being a Jets fan with Eli. I think the Manning cast I'm not a big fan of.
I'm not either.
Boring. But I do think, take that out of it, just the Mannings and how they stand with the NFL now and stuff. Yeah, I am a Manning fan. I like what they do for the game.
The Manning cast would be great if it wasn't done during the game.
Right.
It would be great. I watch it every week.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, a primetime game and then just watching former quarterbacks like talk to Jay-Z is just, if it doesn't really make much sense to me.
They had Saquon on the other night.
On the Monday Nighter?
Yeah, ManningCast.
I didn't even know they were back again this year. I didn't even see any clips from the ManningCast this year.
They were back. Had him on.
How was that?
He said Eli made a joke. Maybe you could throw a Giants jersey on at halftime of the game. Would you play against them? And he goes, I don't think anybody wants to see me in a Giants uniform. I know once a Giant, always a Giant is a thing. I hope it stands with me. I'll let it rock. I'm fine. I'm over it.
Okay.
I don't want him to come back.
I really don't think. Yeah, I really don't. We've talked about this before. I don't think Giants fans can hold anything against the guy.
No, not anymore. I'm done.
Obviously, the Eagles part stings, but they wanted to get rid of him. You watched Hard Knocks.
Clearly. Yeah. There's another documentary coming out with Saquon. The Giants will look real good in that.
Oh, yeah. Good PR for the Giants lately.
I kind of brought this up before, but what hurts, this narrative around him is kind of like getting out of hand. Again, we've always talked about guys that are overrated, and then, we talk about how overrated they are, and then it flips. We've always talked about this. And it's happened with Hurts. All the guy does is win. And if we're not okay, he may not be the greatest passer in the world, and they may not have the most dynamic passing game ever, but their running game is unbelievable, and he's a massive part of that. And when we're ranking quarterbacks, he's near the top of the list. He's a winner, and he's very productive in that offense. I don't understand whatsoever the Hurts hate.
The thing I think people get carried away with is like you look at his passing chart from Sunday night. Like, yeah, the guy didn't throw the ball downfield, and one play he did. It was a great throw. 50-yard completion down the field to, I think it was Dotson. Slight, right. But he didn't have to do much. But the thing that gets me to defend him, and you remember when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl the first time, I don't think there was a bigger Hurts guy on the planet than me that year.
No, you were a big Hurts guy.
When he needs to turn it on for that team, he can do it. We're not talking about Jimmy Garoppolo on the 49ers right now. We're not talking about a guy that hides behind a great offensive mind and a great running game and, shows flashes of being good, but can he really put the team on his back? Jalen Hurts in that first Super Bowl when they lost to Kansas City in a great game was the Super Bowl MVP of that game practically. I mean, he played unbelievable. If it wasn't for that fumble, that was the one bad thing that happened that game. He was playing basically superhero ball out there. There was no Saquon.
One of the greatest performances maybe of all time if he was to win that game in a Super Bowl.
Unbelievable job at him. So I get it because of the year that they had last year and how much attention Saquon got and all that stuff. But people forget also, Saquon didn't do much in the Super Bowl last year. And I know the defense helped him out, the pick six and all that stuff, but this isn't just Saquon and the defense. Like, when he needs to step up, he can step up. Let's just go through it right now. I think you're ready. I think I have 6 to 7 guys over him. And it's the big 4 that everybody knows: Lamar, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. I got Herbert over him. And then that last, and then I have Daniels over him. I say that loosely because we still don't know enough about Daniels. But off of last year and what I've seen, I'll put Daniels over him. And then that one more spot, I'm going to go with Hurts. If you want to put a couple other guys over him, I'm fine with it. I'm going to go with Hurts. Or I think I said I put Dak over him.
I have both of our lists from yesterday, if you want.
Go ahead.
You had Lamar, Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Daniels, Dak, Hurts.
So I have him 8th.
And then and I have him 8th as well, but I had Love ahead of Dak. So I had Love in Dak's spot, and then I flipped. I had Dak 9.
Okay.
And then I had Hurts 8, Love 7, Herbert 6, Daniels 5, Burrow 4, Lamar 3, Mahomes 2, Allen 1.
I'm surprised no Stafford. You're a big Stafford guy.
I'm a big Stafford guy, but Dak showed me a lot the other night, man. Dak was great. And I'm a big Baker guy.
Yeah, I was going to say Baker's name. Baker, all credit to him, but I think we're getting a little far-fetched to sit there and say a guy that just won the Super Bowl and has shown that he can play great in the playoffs, and when he needs to play great, can do it, that we're going to put Baker over him.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Jalen Hurts.
I didn't have him. I didn't have him ahead of him.
No, I'm just talking in general.
Oh, okay.
The football community.
Yeah.
Saying that Baker, that you would have him, that you'd have Baker over him, I think is a little far-fetched.
No, I agree. I like Baker a lot, but he's 10. He's 10 for me. And Stafford would be 11, and Goff would be 12-ish. Maybe Goff. Maybe Stroud. Stroud would be probably 12.
He's an interesting one. To me, at this point, if you put Stroud, and I know he's just had one bad game, but if you put him anywhere from like 11 to 20 for me, like I don't even know if I could get upset at any of those spots.
Where's Russ?
30.
You want to talk about the Giants really quickly before we get out of here?
Sure.
When do they go to Dart?
I think if Russ plays like crap this weekend,
it's going to be him. It's going to be Dart.
I'd still go to Winston first.
I think they're going to Dart after this week. I think it's going to be really ugly in Dallas. I think Dallas is going to kill them. And it may not even be Russ's fault. I mean, Russ, I don't know how many points they're going to score. I think Bland might be out this week. So it's not a great Dallas defense, but they lose this game. And I could see Dallas putting up 40 this week. If Dallas puts up
Yeah.
40 and it's 41-21, and it's
This seems like
embarrassing and it's
classic
bad.
Giants, like beginning of the year, an embarrassment game.
Yeah. 100%. I don't think there's any chance they win this game.
To me, I know it's not a big contract. I think he's on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
But like, what's the point of Jameis? Like, why did you bring Jameis in?
Well, I didn't think, if you listen to people around the Giants, like Daboll loves Dart, and he thinks he's ready to go. Now they're giving Russ the time because they don't want to rush Dart into this thing, and they did sign Russ to be the quarterback. But I think that he was here. If Dart wasn't ready, and God forbid something happened to Russ, or Dart wasn't ready and Russ sucked, so then you go to Jameis. I don't think they had any intention, and I don't think they feel the need to start Jameis Winston this year.
I gotta say, we talk logically about these things, but then when the season actually starts, the conversation changes. I don't think that if Daboll, if the Giants go on this crash course and win 3 games, and Jaxson Dart comes in at some point in the season and doesn't look great yet, like doesn't look like you're sure about him for the future, I don't know if Daboll can survive another offseason.
Oh, he's done. If they bring in Dart and he stinks, and they're 3, 4, 5 wins, whatever it is, done.
Like let's say, okay, let's throw this situation out. Russ plays 4 more games. So Dart comes in week 6. Do they have an early bye?
I'm gonna check.
All right, but let's say that Russ plays 5 games, right? And then Dart comes in week 6. If the Giants are 1-4, and then Jaxson Dart wins 2 to 3 more games, they finish with 4 wins, let's say. And he gives you about 200 yards a game through the air, about a touchdown and a half, and a pick a game. Are we looking at next year and saying Brian Daboll is still the head coach and that this fan base is okay with it?
No.
I don't think so.
The owner, Mara said, there's no win mandate. If they win 5 games, let's just say they win 5 games, they go to Dart, and the bye is very late. It's week 14. So let's say they go to Dart, and they play the first 4 games. It's obviously you had Washington, Dallas, then it's Kansas City, and then the Chargers. Those are the first 4. So let's say the 5th week is the Saints, and you want to go to him there. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
They win 4 or 5 games, but Dart looks really, not even 3 or 4 wins. Dart looks really good. Like, you could tell this guy can play.
Yeah.
Then he's back. But I don't think that's going to happen. I actually have no hope that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a complete retool this offseason. They're going to be drafting very high. They're going to get one of these quarterbacks. And I'll tell you something. I got an early candidate for who I want to be the New York Giants head coach.
Well, before you say that, I was just about to say, we're also not mentioning that all this sounds like, oh, no, like, maybe they'll keep Daboll, maybe they won't. If there's a hot shot coordinator out there, or some head coach from college, or some head coach that got fired for whatever reason in the NFL that's a really hot candidate, I think the Giants are going to be like, screw you, Daboll, we're going after you. But then again, but now, go ahead. I would love to hear.
I want John Gruden. I want John Gruden.
Well, I know he wants to come back.
I want John Gruden.
We know this guy lives and breathes football.
He coach. He was not bad with the Raiders.
It's not a bad take. I don't hate it. He definitely still keeps out. He's a modern coach. He's an adaptive coach. Honestly, just for selfish reasons, I don't want the guy to coach. I love what he's doing now.
I love it. I love it too.
I was just watching one of his videos literally just now before we started recording. I did he's a great entertainer. I don't want him to go back in the NFL. But yeah, that's not a bad.
I also wouldn't mind Mike McCarthy. I like Mike McCarthy. If that was the guy they went to, but I'm done. I don't think this is good. I don't think they survive this. I think it's done.
I think they probably need somebody like that. Like, think about the coaches that this franchise has had. Your Parcells of the world and your Coughlin of the world. It's like, These guys are no BS old school type coaches. And that franchise has had a lot of BS since Coughlin left.
Yep.
Bringing in somebody. That's what, Jets fans are liking about Glenn so far. They just cut Xavier Gibson, who fumbled the game away for them last week.
I love Glenn. I freaking love Glenn.
The Giants might need a no BS kind of guy.
I love Glenn.
Can I just say this?
And I felt the same way about Glenn with the Jets. I felt like that was the perfect guy for the Jets.
Yeah, right. Because that's what they need. They don't need Adam Gase, somebody offensive mind to come in. That Peyton Manning makes a phone call.
Tough guy, tough hard ass guy.
They needed that. Let me say this. I know we'll talk Jets really, really quick. It's actually coming from what Kevin posted on BTO. I don't know if you saw my comment, but there's a lot of talks going on about the Jets' moral victories. And Aaron Glenn said himself, there's no such thing as moral victories. He doesn't believe in moral victories. But that's what you're supposed to say as a coach to your locker room, right? But that's exactly what Jets fans should be looking for this year is moral victories. Yes, was I upset that we didn't win the game the other day? Very. I really wish we would have won that game. But to think that we just went through the one of, if not the worst failed experiments in NFL history the last 2 years, and all the bad light we got in the media between the Athletics article about Woody Johnson and Aaron Rodgers just embarrassing us on Pat McAfee and whatever else you may have, the trading Devontae Adams, firing Saleh in the middle of the seat, just terrible things going on. You want to see signs of stability and signs for the future and discipline and all those things. And I think the Jets showed a lot of really good things on Sunday, and that's what fans should be caring about.
If the fan wants to take that approach, and I would if I was a Jets fan, I would take that approach that, wow, that offensive line that we've invested a ton in looked great against a good Steelers defense. I would 100% be having those moral victories. But the fact that my coach is saying that to the team, to a franchise that is used to losing, I love that even more. As the fan, you want to take it, you want to look at the positives, which there were a lot of positives, totally fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the team and the coach should be feeling that way because that was a very winnable game that I think they handed to the Steelers more than the Steelers took from them.
100%. I still can't believe that 60-yard field goal. I think that was the best kick I've ever seen.
Definitely at MetLife Stadium, which is a tough place to kick.
That hit the back of the net, like above the wall. That would have been good from like 75 yards. It was boomed through there. But did you hear about this thing with the balls this year with kickers?
I heard about this.
Yeah, like they're allowed to have their own ball the whole year or something like that.
Yep.
And that apparently we're going to see some crazy kicks as the year goes on.
I had heard about that. I forget which game it was. It might have been it was the week 1. It was the first game.
I mean, you remember even as kids, I feel like the kickers when we were, 8, 9 years old versus now, they're like 2 times better. These kickers are unbelievable now.
I mean, I haven't seen any Pee Wee games, but yeah.
Well,
have you? Are you scouting the Mustangs over here? Is that what you meant?
No. God, I'm saying the kickers that were in the league.
Oh, I thought you meant like when we were playing 8, 9 years ago.
When we were 8, 9 years old, those kickers, they weren't booming 50-yard field goals. Thank you for the clarification.
I was a little confused there for a second.
No. The kickers in the league have been, I feel like are 2 times better now than they were when we were 10 years younger.
I would agree.
15 years younger.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Another homer against the Yankees there, Colton Keith.
Yeah, Austin Slater's pitching.
Oh, that's good. Before we get out of here, I do want to bring up the Packers. We're good on the Jets and the Giants there. I think it's going to be very soon. I think either this week, I think week 3 or week 5. Those are my 2 predictions. Week 3 or week 5, we'll see Jaxson Dart.
I can't believe there's conversations already, though.
They both left the door open after week 1.
You guys do it to yourselves, though. This all-season hype was just a little ridiculous.
It was. Tough Monday. Let's just say that. Tough Monday.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed. I'm done. I don't care. I don't really care anymore. I'm done. I don't care. Anyway,
He's done after 1 week. There he is.
literally after 1 week.
I honestly hope that they win this weekend so we can come back here next week.
If they win this week, if they win on Sunday, you could think of like a quick dare for me to do. I'll do it. Like do a show shirtless. That's how confident I am that they are not going to win this football game. I'll do a show if they win.
I
will do the next hard line not in person, over the camera in person. Shirtless. I'll do it shirtless.
It's gonna have to be. We gotta put a little rated R symbol on.
Or you want me to wear a Yankees hat if they win?
Yes, I like that better. Let's keep the shirt on. I will wear
a Yankees hat during the entire. I wore a Red Sox hat the other day.
I know you did.
I'll wear
a Yankees hat.
I'll wear a Yankees hat during an episode, in person, whatever, online, whatever the next one is, if the Giants win on Sunday.
Deal.
They are not winning that football game on Sunday. There's no chance they win that game on Sunday.
God, oh my God. I've never rooted harder for the Giants in my life. I wish we knew if they won or not before the game. That we're going to the Yankee game tomorrow.
Yes.
I'd pick out the hat for you.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to borrow one of your hats. I'm not buying a Yankee. I'm going to borrow one of your hats.
You're lucky. I got some snapbacks. I was gonna say I don't think we got different size hats.
What size are you?
Fitted?
Yeah.
7.5.
Oh yeah, probably be a little tight.
What are you, like an 8?
Oh, come on. Like a 7 3/4, 7 5/8, something like that.
All right, not bad.
Depending on the hat.
Not bad.
All right, very quickly before we get out of here, I do want to, because my computer's actually really close to dying. I want to talk a little bit about the Packers. I thought they had the most impressive week 1 win, and I'm fully on board here with this team. A big game Thursday night against the Commanders at Lambeau. I'm super excited for this game, and I'm also just pumped about this Packer team because me and you were high on them coming into the year, and Parsons didn't play as much as I think we thought week 1. The defense was great. They shut down those Lions, and I think the Lions are going to have issues. The Lions too. Lions Packers. It's the Lions Packers because the Lions were concerning.
Lions looked very concerning. Their offense looked terrible. Gibbs and Montgomery to me, Montgomery, if that offensive line who lost 2 interior linemen that were Pro Bowlers, which is a huge deal that I feel like not enough people were talking about. Montgomery's going to fade away real quick because what makes him so great is they're constantly in the red zone, constantly on the goal line, and he scores all those touchdowns.
Right.
The thunder to Gibbs lightning. Concerns for that offense, concerns for that defense, but I do think the story is more about the Packers. They looked really good. Love looks healthy and looks really good. He played very well there. Excited to see them match up against an Eagles of the world or somebody like that. Even over in the AFC, they might be playing Kansas City this year.
Who is that? The Lions?
The Packers. Are they playing Kansas City this year?
I thought the Lions were. Let me see. I'm going to check right now.
But anyways, their offense looked very good. Their defense looked very good. Parsons is still getting built up. To me is a guy that could be a real big X factor for them just a great underrated complementary piece. Because they already have Gary and they have Parsons, and now he can flourish as like a Bryce Huff role when he was on the Jets, a guy who's like a pass rush specialist and comes in and is taken under the wing of Parsons and learns a lot of stuff. So that defense is scary. And I think the Packers haven't had a defense like this since the year they won the Super Bowl. Honestly, I mean, that was the best defense that Rodgers had. That was one of, if not the best defenses in the league that year. And now, 15 years later, I think this is the best defense that they've had in 15 years. Yeah,
it's the Lions. The Chiefs play the Lions this year. And Love looked really good. Like, Love was really, and he didn't have to throw the ball. I mean, he did not have to throw the ball. He was great in the game when he had to. I'm pumped about this team. I think that they're the best team in football to me right now. And gun to my head, if I had to pick a team to go to the Super Bowl in the NFC overreaction, it would 100% be.
Well, the crazy part is the NFC, even with the Eagles coming off the Super Bowl, it still feels open or more open easily than the AFC. Because the AFC, you obviously think you have to go through the Chiefs. But even after that, the top five quarterbacks in the AFC or in the NFL play in the AFC.
Right.
And it seems that if there's a team that's going to emerge in the AFC, like let's say it's the Chargers this year who are fortunate enough to have one of those top five quarterbacks, but let's just say it's the Broncos. The Broncos need to go through at least two of Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Mahomes, Burrow. Like they got to go through these teams. The NFC is not the same story. It seems like there's like, okay, you're the new team in the NFC. Cool.
We can take you down
the Super Bowl. So what'd you say?
So we could take you down. You go right in there and take him down. And I had always been on the train of when Campbell lost his coordinators, it was going to be a massive problem, especially Ben Johnson. Obviously, we've talked about how big of a loss we both think Glenn is going to be in that locker room, but it's week one. It's a complete overreaction. We'll see how they look this week against Ben Johnson and the Bears. But I would be concerned a little bit with the loss that they've had on offense, Ben Johnson, and everything going into that. I'd be a little concerned.
As would I, Mike. It's good stuff right there.
Good stuff. Just over an hour. It would have been under an hour if we didn't have to do little 6 takes with 6-7.
Yep.
Episode 167 in the books. We'll talk to you guys next week. Please like, subscribe, do everything you need to do. Check us out on social media. We'll talk to you guys next week.